This is the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Good evening. Welcome inside the RebZone. Kevin Boyner alongside Running Rebels head coach T.J. Otzelberger inside the UNLV basketball offices after UNLV fell to San Diego State on this Sunday afternoon. And, Coach, you gave the fourth-ranked team in the country everything they could handle today.
We knew they're an elite basketball team. They don't make mistakes. They don't turn it over defensively. They're very sound in their coverage plans. We talked to our guys about being physical and playing mistake-free basketball. There were some tough moments in the game that I think set us back. Overall, from start to finish, really pleased with our effort, though.
Well, let's show everybody what happened in this one where the Rebels hung tough in this one from start to finish.
A big crowd on hand as fourth-ranked San Diego State was in town for a battle of 1 versus 2 in the Mountain West. Bryce Hamilton got UNLV going as he makes the move to the rim for the lay-in. The Rebels followed with a great defensive possession, but Malachi Flynn buries a 30-footer to beat the shot clock as it expired. Then Yanni Wetzel works down low for the basket and the foul. Back came the Rebs. Donnie Tillman hit a triple, and Marvin Coleman drove for a lay-in. Midway through the first, Elijah Mitro-Long checked into the game, his first action since getting injured at the beginning of December. Hamilton continued his hot shooting, getting the follow-away and one. Then Hamilton in the lane, and the drive going high off the glass for 2. San Diego countered off the inbound pass. Nolan Lorraine gets the bucket and the bump. Jay Green had quality minutes for UNLV, driving to the rim. He gets the hoop and the harm. But just before the half, Trey Pulliam beats the buzzer, and San Diego State led 34-28 at the break. UNLV came out on fire to start the second. Colvin fired away from downtown to cut the deficit in half. On the other end, off the double in the post, Matt Mitchell cut, and no one was there for an easy 2. But Coleman answered with another 3, and Hamilton gets the hoop and the harm as UNLV had tied things up at 36. With a chance to take the lead on the next possession, Coleman has his pass stolen by Mitchell, who goes coast to coast for the lay-in. Back comes UNLV. Amari Hardy with his first points of the game. Then Mbake Jong, the offensive rebound and putback to give the Rebels their first lead since 2-0. Flynn stepped on the gas to open things back up for San Diego. The triple, the driving lay-in, and the pull-up jumper and the foul. Hamilton would respond with a 3. And Hardy with the penetration and alley-oop over to Jong. It was 55-52 SDSU with 3:37 left. The Rebels, though, could not get back over the hump. Hamilton turns it over, and Flynn goes the other way for the lay-in and the foul. And Jordan Shackle buries a corner 3 for the dagger. A solid effort by the Running Rebels, but not enough, as San Diego State remains unbeaten at 21-0 with the 71-67 victory in Las Vegas.
We just have to, get the ball moving side to side. I feel like we got very stagnant at one point and got out of what we do. And that gave them a chance to, go on a good run. We're just looking at it, this one hurts and the last one hurt. But, we still got to get better each and every day. And we got to, keep going. Our season's not over, nowhere near over. So we're just going to keep getting better every single day.
So let's start at the beginning of the game where, once again, the three-point shooting kind of dug you guys a little bit of a hole right out of the gate, but a lot of steam picked up there late in the half to cut that gap. You had to feel pretty good going into halftime.
San Diego State does a great job protecting the paint. They try to really build their defense and keep the ball out of there. We had some perimeter looks early. Some of those fall. It kind of spaces the court a little better. They didn't. I thought we were able to get the game going when the pace got up and down a little bit more. Hamilton was particularly outstanding in that first half, attacking off the dribble. And I think when you're playing a really good team, you've got to continue scoring the basketball. Some of those droughts hurt us a little bit today.
Maybe one of the more underrated players in the conference is Pulliam, what he does defensively, and did a good job on Amari Hardy, especially in that first half. He's just somebody who kind of goes under the radar, but he causes a lot of havoc out there.
He really does, and today he was great offensively as well. I think he was 6 for 6 from the floor and 2 of 2 from 3. And he's an elite defender and does a great job just staying in front of you and using his length. And I thought that gave him some difficulties today.
So it's a tie game here coming down the stretch. How do you make sure, because San Diego State has not been in a lot of close games this year, you guys have, to make sure that the guys stay in the moment there and not kind of maybe get overwhelmed by everything that was going on?
There were some plays late in possessions where we just need to finish guarding the dribble or making sure we contest the shot or finish on the glass. And those were key possessions that proved to put us at a deficit. I think when you're playing a team that's really good, those mistakes start to add up. And unfortunately, we had a fair amount of them in that stretch when it was a tie game there and there was, 5 or 6 minutes to go.
Atmosphere-wise, we've talked a lot off camera about how it was at one time at UNLV with a packed house. We got a little bit closer to that today. It was a loud crowd. It was a big crowd. It felt like a big-time basketball game.
It did. Tremendous atmosphere. We're very grateful to our fans for coming out and supporting us. Thought it was an unbelievable environment to play in. Great college basketball game, and hopefully something we can keep building on.
Let's turn our attention now to Wednesday night, where the Runnin' Rebels traveled up to Reno to take on their rival, UNR.
An amped-up atmosphere in Reno as the Rebels and Wolfpack met for the first time this season. UNLV also seen a familiar foe in Steve Alford in front of the other bench. UNR opened the game on a 9-2 run as Jalen Harris and Lindsey Drew dropped triples right out of the gate. UNLV didn't make their first field goal until more than 6 minutes into the game when Marvin Coleman hit this three. Amari Hardy followed with a trifecta of his own as the Rebs climbed back in it. Then the defense as Mbake Jong rejects the slam attempt. On the other end, Bryce Hamilton started to rev up with this inside bucket. But every time UNLV made a run, UNR answered with one of their own. Harris drives to get the basket in the bump. Then Nizre Zauza drops a triple. Meanwhile, the Rebels were ice cold from the field, struggling to get anything to fall. Shooting just 24% from the floor, including 2 of 13 from the three-point line. The Wolfpack led 33-27 at the half. Things heated up early in the second as Hardy connected on a three. And Jonah Antonio fakes a pass and then goes deep. That pulled them within 2. They never got any closer as the Wolfpack followed that bucket with an 11-2 run to open up a double-digit lead. KJ Himes makes a move and drives to the hole for a slam dunk. Then Himes inside on a mismatch with Marvin Coleman guarding him gets 2. Hamilton led one last Rebel charge, going right down the lane for the hoop. Then the one-hander and the offensive rebound and put back. But a rough shooting game doomed the Rebels as they shot 36% for the game, and they fall in round 1 of the rivalry, 86-72.
I feel like we came out flat from the beginning of the game. We're going to play with that same energy that we play with at home. And even then, it starts with our defense. That's what gets the offense going. Our pace was kind of slow on offense today. And today it wasn't our day.
Here was the situation where a hole got dug early, and it just seemed like you guys were trying to climb out of that hole the entire rest of the game.
UNR is a team that has tremendous spurt ability offensively. They can really get shots going in stretches. And early in that game in transition, they pushed it, and Harris knocked down a 3, Drew knocked down a 3, and then I think it was Harris another basket. And they really get going in rhythm. And we talked to our guys a lot about we need to do the job on the defensive side to kind of hold those guys in check and help us offensively. They got a little bit too much rhythm early, and then we were playing from behind all night.
And the first field goal didn't come till more than 6 minutes in for the Rebels. Their guards, we know what they can do offensively, but they did a really good job defensively on the perimeter with UNLV on Wednesday.
They've got great length, those guards. They have size, especially with Harris and Drew, and Jazz Johnson's very competitive, and then Zuswa that they bring off the bench is another veteran guard. So they've got those experienced guys that really know how to play, and they do a great job.
Your team fought back, though, and it's been a trademark of this team. If they have fallen behind and they've put themselves in position in the second half, again, kind of narrowing that gap, you can see glimpses of how close this team is. And they've played well in the conference, but, to be an elite team out west.
For our program, our guys need to make the strides every day. We talk about it's not even when you're in the game, it's the habits, that you play the level of your habits. I know our guys we're laying the foundation. The culture's heading the direction we need. We're continuing to improve. Now it's just getting over the hump in some of these games. We're in a tough stretch in conference play right now. We play some really challenging games, and we've got to turn the page quickly and get ready for the next one.
Well, a challenging game is upcoming for the Rebels this week. We're going to take our first time out, and then we're going to take a look at the week ahead, which is one game. That's straight ahead.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
Running Rebels have their second bye of the conference season this week, so only one game, and it is a big one as they take on a red-hot Rams team from Colorado State.
The lone game for the Running Rebels this week has UNLV traveling to Fort Collins to take on Colorado State on Saturday afternoon. The Rams have been surging in the last few weeks, and they've been doing it on the offensive end, averaging over 80 points a game and running up and down the floor.
We're fast-paced, up-tempo team, definitely. We get up and down. We're going to play defense, scramble defense. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to make it a high-scoring game.
CSU is doing it with balanced scoring, with 6 players averaging between 8 and 13 points, meaning you just can't shut down one player because there's another right there to pick up the slack. Colorado State also has the Mountain West all-time leading rebounder in Nico Carvacho, who blew past Jordan Caroline earlier this season. We asked Carvacho what makes a good rebounder.
It's all about the dirty work, the hustle, being blue collars. People that don't want to do the dirty work. I think it's just a lot of just effort too. Chasing down rebound, chasing it down, grabbing it, doing all that, and just trying to do whatever helps the team win.
But for as good as Carvacho is on the defensive boards, Colorado State is not a prolific offensive rebounding team, ranked 9th in the conference. Then there's the atmosphere. When packed, Moby Arena can get as loud as any in the conference, and this will be CSU's annual Orange Out game, which always brings in the locals. Road teams in the Mountain West have struggled to get wins this season, only coming at about a 30% clip. UNLV hopes to turn the tide as a well-rested roadie this week.
Colorado State lost last night to break their losing streak up at Utah State, but this is a team that has been scoring in bunches over the past few weeks. They've really turned it on offensively.
They really have, like you mentioned, 5 wins in a row. Carvacho's an elite frontline player. Does a great job scoring around the rim, can also really pass out of the post. Roddy stepped up as a freshman for them on the front line, giving them another physical frontline player. And then their guards across the board have been good. Thistlewood's been shooting the ball with a lot of confidence. They've had multiple guys in the backcourt doing a great job. So a really balanced team. They run offense with a great pace and really share the basketball.
You talked about Carvacho, who's the Mountain West all-time leader in rebounds. This is a team, though, that doesn't hit the offensive glass as much maybe as UNLV certainly does. What's going to be the key to make sure that Carvacho doesn't dominate this game with getting some rebounds and releasing their break offensively?
Well, if we can stay out of rotation defensively, we can always keep a body on him so he doesn't get free runs at the glass. And that's what we're going to need to do because he's established himself in this league. He's a very dominating player. And we've got to limit them to one shot. They're a good offensive team. We can't give them any extra opportunities because they'll cash in.
It is an Orange Out this Saturday in Fort Collins. I don't know if you know that. It seems like UNLV always, road games always are on the special days for other teams. So that's going to be, I'm interested because we've talked in the past about sight lines with Rebel players during that Orange Out because you're surrounded by that. It's just a different background. Is that a concern at all? Because in the past, some players said it was just, they had a hard time getting used to it.
I think everybody has to prepare themselves mentally to be at their best, and whatever each guy individually feels needs to make those adjustments going into a game like this. We know it's going to be a challenging atmosphere regardless. It's going to be a great crowd, and I'm sure they'll come out. It's an impactful game on conference standings, so we'll need to really be up for the challenge.
What do you do with the bye week? You have now 5 days in the gym before that game on Saturday. What's going to be the focus with your team?
Well, we need to get a day of rest, first of all, get our guys off their feet and get their bodies healthy. And then as we continue to move forward, we're going to work on some things offensively in terms of ball movement and pace and getting a lot of shots in. So our guys have that confidence to go on the road and knock down shots. We want to have our identity be defense and rebounding. At the same time, we know to win on the road, you're going to have to knock down some perimeter shots.
Well, up next for us, we're going to feature on somebody who's made a lot of perimeter shots here over the last few weeks for the Running Rebels. A local guy, Marvin Coleman. His story is next.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willie and Levitt Law Firm.
One of the best stories so far in Las Vegas over the past couple of years has been Marvin Coleman, a local kid. He has fought his way onto this team, and he is now a big-time contributor for the Running Rebels.
Marvin Coleman is one of the best feel-good stories in UNLV athletics history. A Southern Nevada native and Foothill High grad, he walked on to his hometown team, knowing that playing time might be scarce, but wanting to be on the floor that he dreamed of playing on.
Every kid's dream is to play for their hometown school, you know, so as a kid growing up, you know, that's just, you want to be that hometown hero. So, you know, obviously my family was a big factor, but, you know, I just wanted to, you know, be a Rebel.
Coleman is a family guy, raised by a single mom with 2 brothers and a sister. Being with them was part of the equation, but in his freshman year as a walk-on, he appeared in only 11 games, averaging just over 4 minutes in each. Then the coaching change, an overhauled roster, and injuries thrust him into the spotlight in year 2, and Coleman took advantage, putting up big numbers, the first triple-double at UNLV in more than 20 years, and earning Mountain West Player of the Week honors. But if you expected Marvin Coleman to get a big head, think again. He is grounded, humble, and always thinking team first.
Just working hard every single day to get the, you know, reward that I want. It feels great. And, you know, the best part about it is we're winning. We're winning now. And, you know, the guys are feeling good. And I'm just happy that I can be on the court and, you know, doing things for my team to, you know, help us win. Selfishly, you know, I love to play. I want to be out there. But, like, even if I wasn't playing and we're still winning, like, you know, that's my reward.
Coleman got another reward, earning a scholarship before the season started. Not as much for what he might do, but for what he has done and does every day. Busting his tail in practice, being a good teammate, representing his school and his city in every positive way imaginable. It was validation of choices made and effort given, plus financial relief.
That was just a dream come true. You know, because, you know, my family, you know, that meant a lot to my family, you know, just for, you know, my mother not to have to pay for my college anymore and just, you know, just that much stress, weight lifted off my mother's shoulders. So, you know, that was like a moment, you know, I just wanted to cry. You know, it was just like, you know, it was just a blessing because it was just a dream come true.
The work isn't done. As a local, Coleman knows the rich history of this program and what it means to the people of this city. Now it's being relayed to the other Rebels.
A lot of our teammates, they don't know the history too much, but, you know, I think Coach TJ and the staff are doing a great job of emphasizing it. You know, they're putting, you know, signs up. You know, we've got a lot of different type of things. You know, they remind us every single day of, you know, what Running Rebel basketball needs to be and what it should be.
Coleman wants to be on the ground floor of the resurrection and hopes that the fans come along for the ride.
We want to win so bad, and I know the fans want us to win. So, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, if we lose and stuff like that and they're not there supporting us, it hurts for us. But, you know, it gives us that much more motivation. And, you know, we have to win. We have to win.
Marvin Coleman decided to go to UNLV, even if he barely played, because he wanted to be a part of something special in his hometown. Instead, his hometown got something special from him, a lesson in perseverance and the good guys winning.
You don't see these stories happen that often in big-time college basketball where a kid walks on and becomes somebody who is right in the mix of things in terms of minutes, points, defense. Marvin Coleman's giving you everything.
Marvin has so much heart, so much character. He's a winner. He comes every day and is a selfless teammate. He wants to do anything for this team to be successful. That's allowed him to step up in some key moments. His intent is to play for this university with a tremendous sense of passion. He grew up watching the Rebels play, and you can see that when he takes the floor, guys feed off it, and it elevates our level of play for sure.
When he didn't get a lot of minutes last year and then the first part of this year, but then with some injuries, he started to do that. At what point did you realize this guy, what we see in practice, is converting into games, and he's going to help us a lot.
He stepped up and took a leadership role that we really needed, and you could see how the other guys responded to that. So it wasn't just about his individual play, it's how he elevated his teammates that we realized how important that was and what he was bringing to our group, and really proud to see how that's continued to progress.
As somebody who's looked at the Las Vegas basketball landscape over your career, it has really developed. There used to be maybe a few players that would be D1 caliber players, but we're now starting to see a lot of guys that can play at the next level, at the D1 level, come out of high schools here in Las Vegas.
There's a lot of talent. I think there's some great high school coaches and some programs locally. It's a place where our population continues to grow. There's more and more professional players living here, so there's opportunities with training and to play pickup basketball, and it's kind of becoming a basketball hub with the Summer League and USA basketball as well. So hopefully that talent continues to grow, because we'd love to keep those local kids right here in Vegas playing for UNLV.
One last break from us. When we come back, we're giving you the Running Rebel Plays of the Week. Stick and stay.
You're watching the Fox 5 RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.
All right, Coach, have a good week. We'll see you in Fort Collins. Rebels at Colorado State on Saturday. Thanks for joining us for the Red Zone this week. We leave you with the Running Rebel Plays of the Week. Good night.
The RebZone Sports Show, sponsored by R.C. Willey and Levitt Law Firm.